I know you're busy and tired and feel like you have no time to yourself. I also know that the time that we do find for ourselves, a lot of times we spend it scrolling, saving, and screenshotting stuff online instead of doing something meaningful. Let me clarify, when I say meaningful, I do not mean productive. I do not believe that we should or need to be productive all the time. No. And if you do feel guilty about relaxing, then that's a different video for a different day. But today we're talking about the quality time that you get to spend with yourself, because that's what it is. And it's time you started seeing it that way, instead of just some lonely, boring time that you have to suffer through until you get to see your friends again, until your partner comes home, until your kids are home from school. It's more than that. You're the only person that spends your entire life with you. You owe it to yourself to enjoy that time as best you can without relying on others. Joy, happiness, love, laughter, those are all byproducts of spending time with people we care about. But we shouldn't be unable to feel those things if we're alone. We should be able to cultivate that within ourselves, and then anyone else who makes us feel that way is just an added bonus. If you feel like the grass is greener everywhere else, then it's because you've neglected to water your own garden. Being alone does not and should not mean being lonely. So stay tuned, because in this video, I'm going to tell you how to enjoy your own company. Hey, hi, hello, and welcome back for another video. I'm Jaden if you're new here, and if not, hey girl, it's good to see you again. On this channel, we talk about self-development, mindset, and how to become our best selves from the inside out. So subscribe if you vibe. Hit the like button and the notification bell so that you don't miss anything from me. What were a few things that you enjoyed doing as a kid? Do you do any of them now? If not, how can you re-implement those into your life? These are all questions that you need to ask and answer for yourself. Connecting with our inner child reignites that spark that we had before social conditioning diluted our spirit. So as we grow older, it's our responsibility to unlearn what doesn't resonate and to reconnect with our authenticity. Why do we spend what little time we do have to ourselves mindlessly scrolling, looking at other people's lives instead of living our own? For most of us, it's just a distraction, sometimes a welcome distraction from whatever else is going on in our life. And that can feel good in the short term, but long term, it will only leave you feeling empty and drained and wondering why you wasted so much time doing something that doesn't matter anyway. I know, because I've been there. These apps are designed to keep you on them for as long as possible. And not everything you come across on the internet is for your highest good. So I highly encourage you to use your discernment and unplug when you need to. So be mindful of what you're allowing into your sphere of consciousness. Go outside for a nature walk. Go to the park. Go to the beach. Go to the mountains. Go play with your pet. Self-reflect. Journaling is a great way to do that, by the way. Have a me time movie night sometime this week where you just light a candle, you get a cozy blanket, you grab your favorite snack, you watch your favorite movie, and you just do this by yourself for yourself. I did this not long ago with 13 going on 30, and I loved it. It's such a good way to spend time with yourself in a leisurely way where you're just relaxing. Plus, 13 going on 30 has a lot of nostalgia for me because it came out when I was young and I always loved that movie. And so now watching it when I'm closer to 30 now, which, I'm 24, so I'm not that close, but I'm closer than I was when I was 10. And watching it as an adult now, it's just, I have a totally different perspective. And I am so Jennifer Garner's character. There was a little girl that delivered my DoorDash one day. Okay, hang on. The little girl was not the driver, obviously. She was like middle school, but her parent had her drop off the food to the door. And so I just opened it when she got up there. But this cute little girl comes up, hands me my food, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I love your makeup." And I was like, "Thank you so much." I did my makeup because I had to record a YouTube video. And she goes, "You have a YouTube channel?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." And she said, "What's your name? I want to go subscribe." And it was the sweetest, cutest interaction that I've had in a long time. Her energy was so pure, so electric. Oh, she was just the cutest. And that just reminded me of whenever Jenna Rink is in the elevator and she had on that really pretty multicolored short dress. If you've seen this movie, you know what I'm talking about. And there was that young girl in the elevator with her. And she said, "I like your dress." And Jenna goes, "Oh, thanks. That's because I have these incredible boobs to fill it out." And that's not the point. But it's just that childlike, playful energy. And this little girl delivered my food. We were just chit-chatting. It was just such a wholesome, sweet interaction. My mom was listening and she said, "That was the most Gen Z conversation I've ever heard." And I thought that was so funny. Do something that makes your inner child happy. So if you used to love writing, drawing, painting, sculpting, swimming, singing, dancing, do it. I'm so serious. Do it. You will enjoy yourself again. Being an adult doesn't have to be so boring and serious and cynical. We make it that way, but it doesn't have to be. Something else you can do when you're by yourself is talk to yourself. No, you're not crazy for doing this. There are studies that show that people who talk to themselves are better able to process their thoughts, emotions, and situations that they go through, as opposed to people who don't. And talking to yourself is a way that you can process what's going on in the outer world and your inner world. You don't need to talk to yourself in public if that makes you uncomfortable or you don't want to be perceived a certain way. I totally get that. I talk to myself. I really just do it at home, but it does help me process things, work through them, and remember things if I'm trying to remember something. Talking myself through things also really helps me when my mind is particularly overactive. I also even make myself laugh. Talk about enjoying your own company. I do. Grounding is another helpful and enjoyable leisurely thing that you can do when you're alone. And if you don't know what grounding is, it's just whenever you literally can like go outside and take your shoes and socks off. You have to be barefoot for this and go touch grass, literally. Go walk on, stand on the grass in your yard, or if you don't have a yard, go to a park. Grounding helps me when I've been in the house and on technology too much. I did this just yesterday. I went outside, stood barefoot in my yard, in the sun, soaking in the warmth, feeling the breeze, just listening and watching nature, and it was really helpful. You have to prioritize your alone time the way you would prioritize your time with a friend. Put it in your calendar if you have to. You have to find time to put yourself first because the world will put you last if you let it. Personally, I like to meditate, journal, listen to and or say affirmations, and go for nature walks in the morning. And sometimes I completely disconnect from electronics. And other times I will listen to a podcast. It just depends on my mood that day, whether or not I want to listen to something uplifting, like a self-help podcast, or one of my favorite YouTubers, or if I want to unplug and listen to the sounds of nature. Something that brings me so much joy is literally going for my morning walk and listening to the birds chirping, listen to the breeze blowing, the leaves rustling and falling because we're in autumn now, the little squirrels that chitter at each other and talk to each other and run all over the trees, soaking in the warmth of the sun on my skin, feeling grateful that my able, healthy body is putting one foot in front of the other effortlessly. And when you look at it that way, there's no way that you can't have a magical morning. I used to hate mornings, and now I find myself loving them. But you know why? It's because I got very intentional about how I spend my mornings. If I want to make hot coffee, cold brew, matcha, whether I want to do a 5-minute meditation or a 20-minute meditation, whether I want to journal 3 things I'm grateful for or 10, whether I want to read my book for 20 minutes or an hour. It's up to you and how much time you have that day. But I'm telling you, if you will just put forth a little effort into spending time with yourself at the beginning of every day, your days will go smoother. And you might be a little annoyed waking up earlier at first, but the more you do it, the more you're going to enjoy your alone time and the less you're going to want to skip your mindful morning practices. When you start to enjoy doing the little things, you'll better be able to enjoy doing the big things. So basically, if you've heard about romanticizing your life, it's true. Romanticizing your life will help you enjoy it more. It will make it more vibrant. If you have a negative mindset and you think about all the things that you have to do instead of all the things that you get to do, then of course you don't want to be alone with yourself and your thoughts because you bring yourself down. So something that you need to work on is becoming more positive. And I don't mean toxic positivity. No one is happy all the time, and you shouldn't make yourself try to be happy all the time, because then you're suppressing emotions that you really need to be releasing. So feel your feelings and observe your thoughts. We are not our thoughts. We are the observer of our thoughts. So when you have a thought that you don't like and it really bothers you, try to separate yourself from that and be like, okay, I thought this, but that doesn't mean this or this about me. That doesn't mean that I am this way, or that doesn't mean I'm a bad person. It just means I had a thought and I can let it go. But if you notice that your thoughts tend to be on the negative side more often than not, then that's something to work on. And we've all got inner work to do. Don't feel bad about it. But don't avoid it either. The longer you avoid it, the longer the cycle will continue until you're forced to confront it. And it would probably be in an uncomfortable way. So work on noticing at least one good thing that happens every day. Even better if you can do 3. That's something that I like to do with my mom, is go over our 3 favorite things from the day. And so I'll ask her, hey mom, what were your 3 favorite things that happened today? So she tells me, and then I tell her. And that's a good way to, even if you don't have anyone to do this with, write it down, seriously. Even if you don't like to journal, if you're going to look at the good things that are happening in your life, please write them down, because you can go back later and be like, oh, I don't have a bad life, I'm just having a bad week. Because you can go back and look at, this happened for me, I met this person, I made this new friend, I got into this awesome relationship, I got accepted into this university, I got this awesome job, I made an amazing cup of coffee that day, I had a really healing conversation with a friend that day, I had an amazing journal session, I watched a really funny movie that day. Like, just writing down the good things that happened in your day, no matter how small, will help you to get a more optimistic outlook on life. And it rewires your brain, quite literally. You're firing new neuron pathways in your brain when you do this, when you change your way of thinking, when you change what you notice. And you will then start to notice the good things more often. Little by little, you will slowly go from a cup half empty to cup half full kind of person. It won't be overnight, but it's better than turning into that crotchety old man or lady that doesn't see the good in anything and that no one wants to be around, because nobody wants to be that person. But it's like, the longer you avoid inner work, the longer you avoid and suppress your feelings, the longer you're around people and situations and jobs that don't serve you, the more bitter and jaded you get. And so the more repressed energies and emotions that you feel, and the more that you stuff them down, the more resentment you have for your life and for your loved ones. And you're going to be in a perpetually bad mood and not know why. I don't want you to get to that point. So it's really important to adopt an attitude of gratitude. And if you're cynical or pessimistic, then that's going to feel odd and unnatural to you at first. But the longer you do it, the better it will feel. And the better other people will feel by being around you, because nobody likes to be around a negative Nelly, a Debbie Downer. We just don't. We are drawn to people with higher vibrations. We're drawn to people with that magnetic quality, charisma, joy. My stomach just growled. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you heard that. I'm so hungry. Oh, that's funny. So, by focusing on the good, romanticizing your life, self-reflecting, celebrating the small wins, and doing activities that you enjoy and enjoyed as a kid, you will start to enjoy your own company as an adult. And that really is such a major key in life. Insert DJ Khaled saying, major key. If you know, you know. And you know how many miserable adults there are? Yes, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you've dealt with a few. And misery loves company. But we are not company for misery. No, 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 my friends. We love life and life loves us back. So do things that you enjoy instead of doom scrolling on social media for hours on end, feeling hopeless. And the more that you integrate these hobbies and these little moments of fun with yourself, the less lonely your alone time is going to feel. And that is such a beautiful place to be in, and I want that for every one of you. So if you have made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share this with a friend who you think might need it. Save it to your watch later if you think you might need it later. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. And if you want to keep hanging out, go ahead and click one of these videos next. I love you guys. Thank you so much. And I will see you in the next video. Mwah. Bye.